This is the Dewalt Multi Tacker, not to be confused with other models. Now, a lot of people have asked me, does the power button on the top make any difference? Well, we're going to find out right now. Hey, what's up guys? It's your man JB and welcome to my channel. Now, this is the Dewalt 5-in-1 Multi Tacker. There is only one like this. There are others similar. They don't do or use as many staples. I've had this for a good few years now. I don't use it all the time, but I have used it consistently over the years, and it is an absolutely fantastic piece of kit. I absolutely love it. Always comes in handy, never lets me down. Okay, a staple or two might get stuck sometimes, but doesn't any stapler? This particular model will use standard and heavy duty staples and also 15mm brads. So it really is an excellent tool for whatever job you might have. If you want to see the original review of this video, you can see it at the end. I'll put a link there. But this video is just about this power button. On the top here, as you can see, there's a switch. You can put it on plus or you can put it on minus. And in theory, this is meant to give you more or less power. And in my experience, if you're stapling into something a little bit harder, then you want it on the plus or the power setting. So let's go straight ahead, check it out, see if it makes any difference. Now, the first thing you should probably understand when using a stapler like this is the amount of pressure that you put on the staple gun is going to affect how far the staple goes in. For example, if we were just to hold it very lightly on top of the board and do that, yes, it's going to come out, but it's not really going to go very flush. Whereas if we hold it and push it down, that's going to make a huge difference. You can see there the difference where this has sunk and this hasn't. So we're going to need to do this test holding it steady with one hand and also forcing it down with another, just to see how much difference that makes. So I've got here the staples that we're going to use for this test. I've got 10mm standard staples, I've got 10mm heavy duty staples, and I've got some 15mm brad nails. What we're going to do is put standard staples here, we'll put heavy duty staples here, and we'll do brads here. So we'll separate that board like so, and then also what we want to do is have it minus and plus. So this will be on the minus setting for the power, and that'll be on the plus setting. So we'll see what difference that makes. So that's nice and clear, so we can look at this at the end and you'll see the result right there. Right, standard staple then. Let's put these in. Now, I did see a comment just recently, someone saying about how they didn't have a spring. There was no spring in the cartridge holder here. Well, it's not really sprung loaded until you actually put your staples in. As you can see that as soon as you've got some staples in, then that becomes sprung loaded. So don't be thinking, oh, it's broken, because it's not. You need to put the staples in and then close it. What I also need to do on this stapler is put it on the correct setting, which is this one, which is for standard staples and brads. So I've got my staples in there. I've got it on the minus setting to begin with. I'm going to use one hand and then just gently push down with the other. So I'm going to really focus on using the same amount of pressure on each test. Well, that's a good start, isn't it? Because that one got stuck. Right, okay. Let's try that again. It's on the correct setting. Right, there we go. That's better. Okay, so that's hanging out just a little bit there. Let's put it on the power setting. Again, not too much pressure. And that one's gone a bit messy. That one's gone messy. That one's gone messy. Well, you can see there that what's happening is it really is forcing it down a lot, and it's really denting the timber. So actually, for standard staples, you're probably better off just using the minus setting. Let's try the heavy duty staples. So we'll put that We'll set that to the minus setting and heavy duty. Here we go. And that one hasn't come through. Right, let's try again. Make sure you set it to heavy duty. That's why they're not coming out. Let's try that again. Boom, there we go. So once again, similar to this one, it's sticking out a little bit. Now, all I'm really doing when I'm pushing this down is preventing it from jumping as I push that handle down. And by doing that, these 10mm staples, they're sticking out very slightly. You would catch your finger or something on those. So let's put it onto the plus power setting and try again. You can hear it's a bit louder, a bit more powerful. And again, it's kind of making it look a little bit messy, if I'm honest. Let's try a couple this way. That's better. There we go. Not quite sure why they did that, but you can see here that they really have gone in flush and maybe slightly below the surface. Let's try a couple more. You've really got to hold that flat. Really hold that flat. And yeah, okay, makes a little bit of difference. Let's try it without again. Yeah, it's definitely obvious that when it's on the minus setting, it doesn't go in as far. But sometimes when it pushes it in further, it does kind of make it go a bit wonky and messes it up a little bit. Anyhow, let's go for some brads next. We'll pop the brads in there, need to put it back onto that setting. We'll keep it on 0 to begin with, and here we go. Now the brads do come out of, which side did I just put them in? On this side. So they do come out more to this side, and you'll see here, I'll put another one in and hold it. Even holding it, you'll see that they're sticking out some. Okay, so let's put that on the power setting. And they've definitely gone in further. They have definitely gone in further, so that definitely makes a difference. But from experience, what I've found is even when you use it on the power setting, you might just need to get a hammer and just kind of finish those off. Now, I'm really not happy about the standard staples. I want to have another go with those. It might have been my hand. I might need to keep it a bit steadier. So let's just try a few more here. I'm on the plus setting. I'm going to keep that really steady. Yeah, so it's good. And it really does sink in. You've got to hold the end really steady. See, even holding that steady, that one's lifted out. Go back to the minus setting. There we go. Here's the conclusion. Your standard staples on the minus setting, in my opinion, is actually better on the minus setting. The plus setting just messes them up a bit. They go maybe a bit too deep. Yeah, so they're not heavy duty, so really they should be okay on this one. The heavy duty staples, they did protrude slightly. They stuck out not a huge amount, but it was obvious. Whereas if you get it right, if you hold the stapler steady, you can get some really nice flush and even sunken staples in there. And then the brads on the minus setting, yeah, you definitely need it on the plus setting to get them a little bit further in. I mean, this might be quite good if you really did want to finish it off by hand and maybe you didn't want to damage the surface of the timber. But if you're not worried about the surface, I'd definitely put it on the plus button. So there you go, guys. There's your end result. And does the power button make any difference? Well, yes, it does. So basically on the minus setting, the staples and brads won't damage the surface of the timber. You might just need to finish them off slightly, whereas the plus setting will sink, can sink the brads and these staples, but it might just leave the surface of your timber looking a little bit messy. Anyway, hope you found that useful. I'm still loving it. I'm still using it. It hasn't let me down, so rock on. Thanks for watching, guys. See you on the next video.